Yo, yo, yo. How's everybody doing? Friend, what's up? Yo, yo. Millionaire advice. What's good? What's good? Sean, HMH. What up, y'all? Heavy Duty, what's up, bro? MJ, what's good? What's good? Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll just post it on Twitter. Blaze, what's up, my guy? AJ, what's up, bro? What's up? What's up? Let me get calendar. Let me fix my mic. You might hear a little moving right now. Does that fix my mic? I'm hoping to get a YouTube video up today. If it doesn't go up today, it's going up tomorrow, 100%. I'm hoping it goes up today, though. It's almost done. Order flow shifts, market structure shifts, change state of delivery, ST, all that. That's what the new video's on. So it'll be a really good video. Let me just crop this. We'll get it going. Wait for a couple more people to get in here potentially. Crop that. We'll throw this on the chart. Thanks for answering all the questions in the Q&A. I got you. I like doing those Q&As on Instagram. They're fun. Best Discord, no cat. Let's go. From Sir Pickles live to yours. Great Sunday. Let's go, man. Do you trade using commitment to trader data? I do not. I don't need commitment to trader. Everything that I need is in the candlesticks. It's in the order flow on the charts. So I personally do not use that. All right, let's see. I think we're all set to get this going. We need the video today. Yeah, bro. I need to get that thing out. I'm trying. I'm waiting for the final edit to come back. How many pairs are you currently watching? I don't know yet. I haven't done my I haven't looked at the charts yet. I have no idea. Let me just post this on my Instagram and it'll be good. I just want to make one more post on my Instagram. Sorry, guys. Let me just grab this link. Throw this on the Instagram and it'll be good. All right, I'm good. All right, let's get into it. You do futures analysis today? Yeah, I look at everything on Sunday from the top down. monthly, weekly, daily. I go through every asset, every commodities, indices, futures, forex, crypto even. I want to see your setup for real. Another week, another discipline. Euro USD analysis. I got you. I'll be looking at Euro USD. All right. What's the very first thing we do every single Sunday before we even look at price, before we even look at dollar or the charts? What's the first thing that we do on Sunday going into every new week? Let me know in the chat. Y'all should know by now, if you've been watching the live streams, you should know exactly what we need to do. Economic calendar, news. Exactly. All right. Very first thing we do every single Sunday. I'm going to throw this to the front. We check the economic calendar for the week, and we use the red folder news as our roadmap for volatility injection. So when we understand what days have red folder news, we understand what days are likely to actually move that week. We only want to be trading assets, tickers, whatever, that are actually willing to move on the day. If they're not willing to move, if they're not willing to have expansion, then why are you wasting your time trading them, right? So it's the very first thing that we do every single Sunday. As we can see, Monday has no red folder news. Like I always say, Mondays are always usually accumulation for the weekly profile. Not always, but more often than not, they're accumulation for that weekly profile. There's no news on the Monday, so that inherently is just pointing towards likely consolidation, likely chop, low probability conditions on Monday. So for my intraday traders, for the people that are focused on, intraday trading, you may not see much on Monday. Again, this is just a rule of thumb. It's probabilities. It doesn't mean that we can't move on Monday, but it means that you should be much more cautious on a Monday without news. So I'll be touching grass on Monday and Tuesday this week. I'll be looking to take the majority of my executions on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Fixo's in the cut, man. Fixo in the chat. Monday and Tuesday both lack red folder news, so we need to be hesitant. We need to demand more at a price. I will prefer to wait for Wednesday. That is most likely when we get our expansion, when we get actual delivery from price. So Wednesday we have a bunch of red folder: euro, pound, Canadian dollar, US dollar. And on those days, price is going to be much more likely to expand and move. So Wednesday is the most ideal day to start trading this week, just looking at the calendar alone. Thursday we have USD red folder. I'm looking to be executing on indices from Wednesday on. If something sets up on Monday and Tuesday, I will take it on indices just because they move a lot in New York kill zone. The indices still move, but if we're not moving, if we're just chopping, I'm walking away. As soon as I can tell that price isn't willing to move, I'm walking away. So a good rule of thumb is just to avoid the days without news and only trade on days with news. So now we have a feel for what to expect going into the week in terms of volatility, and we can get into the dollar analysis. The very first thing that I do is look at Dixie or US dollar. I'll catch up with the chat really quick. News, economic calendar, yep. Do you wait for your intermediate time frame for value gap to displace higher out of your higher time frame for value gap, or if it displays and forms? I don't know. That's a confusing question, bro. You're gonna have to reword that. I'm not understanding that. Great education. Always happy to learn from you, man. Thank you so much. Can you reword that question, Kelvin, and I'll try to answer it? How long is the stream? Probably like an hour and a half at the most. Kind of depends on what happens, how long I take, etc., etc. All right, so dollar, very first thing we do is look at the monthly. Every single Sunday, all I'm looking at is monthly, weekly, and daily. I don't drop into the 4 hour. I don't drop into the 1 hour. There's no way I'm dropping into the 15-minute or 5-minute on a Sunday. The only time I'm dropping into these two time frames, the 15-minute and the 5-minute, are when I'm executing. So Dollar analysis. We have taken this previous month's low. Dollar was looking for this low. We were talking about this earlier. We've created this weekly SIBI here overlapping with this order block. We just swept that low. So what we want to gauge is when we trade into this weekly SIBI, does the 4-hour shift and head lower? If the 4-hour shifts and heads lower, we have nice weekly context to operate within. So we have this entire boundary to operate within, from the internal to external. Dollar has been very choppy. It's been very consolidating style price action. You know, it's low probability. So if we trade into this fair value gap and we just blast through it, you know, we could just seek buy side on the monthly, because it's literally just consolidation. So you guys got to understand, you need to understand and identify what price is doing. Look at these candles. This is just consolidation. All of these candles are chopping. So I want to be more cautious with dollar. I want to give it more room to mess around. I want to, you know, I don't know. Yeah, just be cautious. That's the best way to describe it. I'm more cautious with dollar. So I need to see the 4-hour confirm that we're heading lower from here to say, all right, dollar is actually bearish from the internal to external. And we have that nice context to operate within. But again, we're just consolidating on the monthly. So if we blast through that area, if we blast through this, then we might go seek buy side. And that's just what price is doing on the monthly. So I favor shorts here. I would like to see this move lower. That's the most ideal scenario in my opinion and what I would want to see. But the monthly is consolidating, so you need to be able to understand and adjust. So this is what I'm favoring on dollar. I want to see lower prices from this overlapping order block and fair value gap. And we have nice internal and external and bearish dollar. I don't even really need to look at the daily right now. There's nothing for me to see on the daily that's going to add to what I just said. But once we get throughout the week and we trade into that weekly level, that's when I go into the 4-hour. And I'm like, all right, is the 4-hour confirming this and wanting to shift lower? Because if the 4-hour shifts lower and confirms the idea of heading lower, we know dollar's respecting this area and we're going lower. So I'm bearish on dollar going into the week. I would expect Monday, Tuesday, chop, whatever, trade up into this, and then potentially distribution lower throughout the week. Bearish dollar is how I'm feeling. So going into these other currencies and the majors, I understand that. I understand what I expect on dollar. Monthly, internal to external. Whoops. Not much to say here. Weekly bullish order flow. Kind of sus. You would like to see this expand higher from here. The fact that it's closing below is a bit sus to me. I do think that it can still head higher, but not favorable to see it close below this fair value gap like this on the weekly on AUD USD. But if we do get bearish dollar and lower dollar, then we would want to see higher 6A. So don't love this right here. Skip it. Monthly bullish order flow, internal to external. We swept this monthly buy side here, and we're having a strong wick reaction. So this wick on the monthly is going to be lower time frame for value gaps and bearish order flow on the lower time frames. The weekly is still bullish. We have this overlapping area. This is where you would want to see price head higher off of. So if we get that bearish dollar, this could be a very nice move from internal to external. Bullish pound. So I'm going to add that to the long list. Bullish GU, British pound. 6B is just the pound currency as an individual currency. So you could have really nice internal to external context. This area should act as fair value. Why? Because at this point, we've offered both sides of the market. We've offered sell side. This is all sell side, sell side. Now we've offered buy side. So from here up is our area of fair value. We want to see price head higher from here if we're going to do so. There's no reason for us to head lower than this. Monthly bearish order flow. Stop point here. Swept this buy side liquidity. Again, that wick lower. Canadian dollar looks pretty bearish. No context here. There's really no context here to operate within. If we get some form of daily context here where we create a gap here, then maybe. But right now, there's just nothing to do with this. Euro, it's probably going to be the same thing as pound or similar. Monthly chop, sloppy monthly delivery. Weekly, kind of similar. We swept this buy side. We have this gap here. I would favor pound longs for sure, personally. I'll need to look at, you know, other stuff and understand everything throughout the week to figure out which one I favor. But based on that price action, I would prefer pound longs right now. Bullish on euro as well. Potential month or weekly context to head higher. Look at the chat. Fixo. Based on the monthly PD array in dollar, do you see a bearish for these few weeks? We've been consolidating on the monthly. It's not ideal price action. I would favor lower on dollar, but if we just trade into that weekly gap, like I said, and blast through it, then we need to adjust. How do you evaluate breakaway gaps? I talked about this in one of the other streams, but you understand if it's likely to be a breakaway gap by watching the third candle. So this is the expansion. This is the second candle. The third candle creates the fair value gap. If this third candle expands beyond the second candle's high like this and closes up here, you're expecting this to become a breakaway gap and not get retested. But if this third candle closes below this second candle's high and just consolidates, then it's likely setting up for a retest of that gap to head higher. Do you wait for your 1 hour fair value gap to displace out of your weekly or daily fair value gap, or if your 1 hour forms inside? What do you mean forms? Oh, like out. Okay, I got you. It can be inside of it. I need to see. I get what you're asking now. So if we're in a daily fair value gap and the 1 hour creates new fair value gaps out, you know, and it hasn't fully left the daily gap, but the 1 hour shifting order flow, I'll still take it. I get what you're asking now. And I don't need to wait to see, oh, it's out of the actual higher time frame box or whatever you call it, like the box that you mark. As long as the order flow shifts, as long as we confirm that the order flow has shifted, that to me is valid to take. So hopefully I answered your question. I think I understand what you're asking now. Looks like weakness in the dollar since there's no monthly close above a swing high. We're just drawing for that low on 6C. 6B so clean though. GBP CHF. Bro, Swiss franc has been so weird. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. Swiss franc has been so weird. Yen has been weird. Not weird. It's just retracing. But I really don't expect this to get drawn to. That's just too much of an ask in my opinion on the monthly. I think that we're going to head lower on yen. I think that I wanted to see this weekly gap get respected. We closed above it. Not ideal. Tagged into this order block. I think we can still head low. I really do. I don't like how we created this weekly gap though. So I don't know. Yen is weird. I really don't want to mess with yen. It's 50-50 to me. Yeah, I'm just not touching yen right now. This looks confusing to me. I see both sides. We're creating daily and weekly gaps higher. We do have that monthly gap up here, but this just feels like a huge ask. But I'm not messing with yen. That's very, very 50-50 to me and unclear. So if I can frame both sides like that, I'm good. I'm not touching it. I wanted to see potential higher prices from this weekly gap. We're failing to offer fair value and head higher. So now we should seek liquidity. So I'm expecting lower on 6N. Monthly order flow is bearish as well, which aligns with, you know, potentially wanting to head lower. Weekly expansion candle. However this third candle closes, it may create a weekly bearish fair value gap. Signs are not pointing to higher prices right now on New Zealand dollar. Sorry. this OB we tagged into at the end of the week. We'll see what happens. Would have wanted to see us head higher if we were strong from there. Swiss franc. The Swiss franc has been trolling, bro. I've been wanting to short Swiss franc from this monthly level, this fair value area. If we want to go lower, it should head lower from here. There's really no reason for us to go higher. And the weekly and daily are just weird right now. So again, I'm keeping caution with Swiss franc. This is just weird price action. I wanted to see lower from this weekly gap. We didn't get it. We closed above. Now we're just wicking. Just sloppy price action. So when price is acting like this on pairs, I just tend to steer clear. What about NQ? I'll look at it. NQ's down here, so I gotta get these crosses first and majors. Here, I'll kick it into overdrive for y'all. I'll try to go a little faster. Monthly internal to external. Weekly would want to see us head higher from here. It's the same analysis that I did on 6A, right? Didn't add it to the list. See how they're the same thing? So not much to say here. You guys saw the analysis on 6A. Again, all these 4 currencies are going to be the same. So Euro, same analysis. Something like that could be nice. Similar to GU. If we're gonna take longs on one of these with this weekly internal to external context, if you're gonna be looking for longs, you want to be longing the stronger of euro or pound. So throughout the week, you need to identify which currency is currently stronger and take that one for the longs. But nice weekly context setting up potentially. Pound, exact same thing. This area should act as fair value. There's no reason for us to want to dig deeper than this. We've already offered sell side and both buy side here. So price should not need to dig deeper than this if it wants to head higher. This is all that's relevant. You want to see it respect this area and head higher. I like that a lot. Looks really good to me. Adding that to the long list as well. Already talked about 6N. You guys saw the analysis on New Zealand dollar as a currency. It's going to be the same thing. Now this is just the inverse of yen, Swiss franc, and CAD. These will just be inverse. But same analysis. Monthly bullish order flow, weekly creating that expansion higher. Daily, not much to do here, just waiting for context, but we're bearish on Canadian dollar. USD CAD is just the inverse. It looks bullish. So all these currencies, if you guys don't understand this, all these currencies are just AUD USD, GBP USD, Canadian dollar USD, right? This is USD Canadian dollar. So in the currency, Canadian dollar is the base currency. Euro USD, yen USD, right? So these, when they're the quote currency, they'll be inverse. That's, I don't know how else to explain it, but hopefully that makes sense. Just swept this monthly sell side on USD Swiss franc. Right, this thing is just trolling. I am not touching Swiss franc right now, but we're sweeping this buy side, sell side, sorry. We're sweeping this sell side. We're going to see a daily gap higher, potentially, if we're going higher. So this could be a sweep of the previous month low to head higher. But again, I am so 50-50 on this that I just don't want to mess with it. But if the daily confirms heading higher, then we know it still wants to go. So we'll see. Steering clear of that though. When it's 50-50 like that, I'm not touching it. Last 2 monthly candles are pretty gross. We have a bullish yen, bullish order flow. Creating this weekly SIBI here, not ideal for higher prices. You see us potentially want to dig lower off of that weekly SIBI. It's monthly OB is here. There's no fair value gaps in this leg. I think this could potentially dig lower, yeah. But not the biggest fan. If you're going to intraday trade this, there's some context. There's that daily, internal to external, weekly gap here. This may actually go lower. The only thing I don't love is we're counter trend. A monthly order flow. So you're going to be shorting counter trend. You just have to understand in terms of the higher time frame where you're at. So if you want to do that, if you want to take some intraday potential shorts that set up, if they do, just understand that you're operating counter trend. So this daily gap will likely fail if the weekly wants to retest this weekly for value gaps. So this is why you need to always have everything in context of the time frames above it. Now this is more likely to fail. It's a lower probability gap to deliver it lower because we have this weekly gap right here that is likely going to act as a stronger magnet. All right. Let me look at chat. Sad you can't. Yeah, that's crazy that you can't use stickers in a YouTube live chat. That's actually wild. How do they not have that? Good afternoon, sir. What's up, bro? What's up? What's up? Elijah, what's good, brother? Do you only look at those cross pairs which have news only? If I'm intraday trading, yeah. I only trade those when there's news on the day. I haven't been intraday trading Forex at all. I'm purely intraday trading ES and NQ right now. Fix that, you changed your name. So if there's okay, cool. So if there are 2 fair value gaps and none of it's overlapping, which one will you choose? What do you mean, bro? I'm lost. Hello. Do you only look at those? Wait, we already answered that. Yen pairs expecting intervention. Craig, what's up, brother? What's up? GJ, what is your view? I'll get through it. I like Oanda better than FXCM personally. Bro, you guys, I'm gonna be honest, you guys don't need to spam the questions. Like, I'll get to your questions. You don't have to send them 4 times. Just being honest. All right, yo, what's your view on AUD CAD? I'm about to look at it right now. I have it up. I haven't looked at it yet. Monthly sell side sweep. Create this bullish for value gap higher. Monthly internal to external occurs. There's no reason for us to head lower to here. You know, if this area here will act as fair value if we want to head higher. But again, we don't necessarily need to draw to that. Let's see if there's any weekly gaps. There is a weekly gap here. So I would not be surprised if we just head higher off this weekly gap. You know, this could have nice internal to external context on AUD CAD. So again, I want to make this very clear. A lot of times I'll do this analysis. I'll say, oh, I'm looking for higher prices here based on this order flow. And then someone will say, but the currency is doing this. And so that currency is whatever. I don't think about the currency futures until the week starts. So when I'm going through Sundays, all I'm doing is basing this off the order flow. I'm looking for context. So I'm looking for internal to external context or external to internal on monthly, weekly, or daily. Then throughout the week, that's when I'm going through these individual currencies. I'm categorizing them. I'm saying, all right, what is the strongest? What is the weakest currency? You know, what is consolidating? I'm putting them in tiers. And I want to pair strong and weak currencies. That's when you're going to get the most explosive moves on these currency pairs. So AUD looks weak, which is not ideal for longs on AUD CAD because it's the base currency. I understand that. But right now I'm just basing this off of the order flow. Monthly, internal to external, but we failed to deliver higher off of it, which is not a good sign for longs. We have a weak AUD, at least it looks weak to me potentially. I don't necessarily know exactly where AUD wants to go, so I'm going to exercise that with caution, but you would have wanted to see this expand higher from here. Weekly gap getting closed below. Daily gaps here. I think this can head lower. If you're an intraday guy, you could potentially trade off of this daily gap towards this sell side. Just doesn't look like it wants to move higher here. Yen, AJ, Australian dollar yen, bullish monthly order flow, weekly. This is our overlapping area. We're in discount here. But again, AUD is going to need to be bullish. I'm going to see a strong base currency here. We failed to deliver higher off this weekly gap. Now we're at this overlapping area. So if we fail to deliver higher from here, we're targeting this sell side. But if the 4-hour shift's bullish and this looks nice for higher, it could be nice weekly context. So right on the watch list. Yen and Australian dollar, bro, the currencies just feel confusing to me right now. Like, I don't like where they're at. They don't feel clear. The only ones that felt obvious to me, like I just went through, was British pound and euro. The other ones are just probably not going to focus on crosses as much when I don't understand what the currencies are doing. Now, I always like to have a clear understanding of what the individual currencies want to do. Headed higher off this weekly gap. This area should act as fair value now. It's overlapping high, right? Again, going back to what I was showing you before, we offer sell side here. So this is sell side being offered. Then we offer buy side. So everything from this point on is now fair value. We don't need to see price retrace lower than that. And if it does, then it's likely seeking liquidity. So you want to see higher prices from here. This could be nice internal to external context, spacing it off the order flow again. Try to knock out these crosses. Monthly bullish for value gap, failing to deliver price higher. I think this wants to go lower just based on that monthly. It looks very sus to me. Weekly gap, failing to deliver higher. Looking at this sell side as a draw. Daily, internal to external. I would expect lower prices on this. If you want to be an intraday guy, be my guest. I'm not going to add it. If I did, I would add it for shorts. But I don't really see anything that I can... Maybe you could get a swing off this, actually. Yeah, I'll add it to the shorts. I'll add it to the shorts. I might be able to get a swing off in this. Yeah, that's valid. All right. But again, going back. Actually, no, this monthly order flow is bearish. Yeah, this looks good. I like CAD CHF for shorts. Weekly fair value areas, overlapping fair value gap and high. Should have wanted to send price higher from there. You have this discount order block. A lot of this stuff just isn't following through, so it may be seeking the opposing liquidity on the other side. And that's what I'm seeing on a lot of these pairs. And I usually don't like trading that way. I don't like seeking opposing liquidity. So essentially what's happening, just to make this clear for some of you guys, at least what I'm seeing, is a lot of these pairs, a lot of these currencies even, are failing to head higher off of fair value and seek this liquidity. So when we fail to successfully offer this fair value and head higher off of it, we target opposing liquidity on the sell side. And that's just not the most high probability way to trade. You can do it, right? Like you can trade lower off this gap towards that sell side down here, but it's inherently lower probability. So I don't really like crosses right now. They just feel they feel weird to me. Sometimes you'll see me do these forecasts and I'm like, I love this. This feels super obvious. This feels super clear. But right now, the crosses do not feel that way. We're respecting this weekly gap. We've just created this weekly civvy. So now we have trapped order flow again. Low probability. You know, who knows what happens there. Just, I don't really like any of these crosses right now. They don't feel clear to me. For that reason, you know, I've been a lot more focused on indices, ESNQ, and trading that Solus trading plan. Monthly, sloppy. No gaps on the monthly. Not creating gaps on the weekly lower. Potentially a bullish gap here getting created. There's no context to operate within. Crosses look like ass right now. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Monthly closes above this high potentially in 10 days. We'll have to see how that... You know, if we shift on the daily and head lower, we're likely sweeping this previous month's high. This weekly gap here. Essentially wants to head higher and create a new bullish for value gap right here. I see the ideas here. I'll add it to the long list. Monthly internal to external. Weekly gap here. You want to see it head higher off this. We have bullish euro, so I guess that kind of makes sense. Add to the long list. Euro pound swept this previous month's low, the sell side. Weekly. Essentially getting a retracement. I don't use volume imbalances. I don't care about volume imbalances, but there is an imbalance right there. Sweeping this high. Don't like this. Monthly, no gaps. Bullish order flow. Weekly, order block. Gap right here. Euro yen could potentially have context here. Shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Almost through the crosses. Monthly failure swing here. We fail to sweep the sell side. Fail to deliver lower from this fair value area. So if we fail to offer fair value here and head lower off of it, then we're likely seeking opposing liquidity. And that's exactly what we're seeing here on Euro NZD. Let's go for longs. We don't have context though. This is a weekly breakaway gap. Let's see if we get a daily gap. We do not. I'll add it to the wait list if we get a daily gap to operate out of. That looks good for longs though. GBP AUD. Again, bullish GU and EU. Notice how the euro crosses and the pound crosses are cleaner. Is that a coincidence? No, it's not. It's because these currencies are actually moving. They're showing intention to want to move. They're one-sided. So it's not a coincidence that the GU and EU type crosses look better. All these other currencies, I'm not really that interested in. They feel low probability. I don't know what they're doing. So if I don't know what something's doing, I just simply walk away. You don't need to know at all times. It's an unrealistic perspective on trading. You know, if it doesn't feel super obvious, then you just walk away and wait for more price action. Weekly breakaway gap, daily gap down here. This could potentially trade lower, but you'd need to watch the 1 hour and 4 hour. Sloppy right now. Let's see, I'll set an alert here. Bullish monthly order flow, weekly expanding. This area becomes fair value. I like this a lot to potentially head higher off of this overlapping area here. Looks very clean and one-sided. Add this to the long list. We'll have nice internal to external context from this gap. I like that a lot. This looks good. Finally, something looks good. Monthly. You'd want to see it head higher off of this. If it doesn't, it's likely heading lower. We have a weekly gap here. I don't like Swiss franc right now again, but pound is strong. So if Swiss franc sells off, this could be a strong and weak pair here. I added to the long list. We have the weekly context to potentially operate in, but just not a fan of Swiss franc right now. GJ, monthly bullish order flow. Weekly pulling back, respecting this fair value gap here. Potentially still have this internal to external context. Daily SIBI here. You'd want to see this get disrespected in the sense you want to see this continue higher through it. Right now it's kind of pushing it lower. So we'll see if this heads higher. Right now I would just demand more price action. I would demand more fair value gaps. So right now it's just really sloppy. So I added to the long list, but again, waiting on that. Actually, I'll put that on the wait list because I'm waiting for more price action. Monthly expanding. This area becomes fair value. Weekly overlapping here. I'll catch up with the chat in a second. Daily. Just expanding. Clear one-sidedness though. I'll add it to the wait list if it creates daily context. New Zealand dollar CAD. Weird. If it wants to head higher, it should do so from here. You'd want to see the daily shift. So right now we're just waiting. Yeah, we never got the shift that I was looking for right here for potential higher. And so we do have the monthly context, but we need to see that get confirmed by the daily. Right now it's not doing so. So you would just be waiting. Bearish monthly order flow. Weekly. Strong expansion lower in this overlapping area. Haven't created the gap on the weekly. There's just no context to operate in. There is this right here that we could potentially head lower from. Add to the short list. We have the daily, internal to external. Yen, New Zealand dollar, yen, pulling back. This thing's dying. There we go. All right. Crosses. Boom. Indice analysis. What a lot of you guys are probably waiting for. Let me catch up with the chat. How do you navigate between the dollar correlation with the other currency futures? I prefer to just let the order flow on the currency futures tell me where they're going. I don't really tweak out about that too much. Right, exactly what Fix have said. You just have to wait for a reaction off of the PD raise. So when we get a fair value gap out of them, that's when I'm like, all right, the order flow is shifting. That's our reaction. Off topic, but can I find your chart colors in your Discord? Yeah, so if you go to the main chat, you look at the pinned comments in the main chat, you'll see my chart colors are posted there. Is yen bullish or bearish? Bro, I don't know. I don't like yen. It's not clear to me right now. Daily gap's higher, weekly gap here. Just not high probability. Pickle got a jump on live stream with you someday. Gonna be a blast. Yeah, bro. I told him we should do that. I want to do some live trading with him. How do you trade swings and intraday scalps on the same account? I use different accounts. Do you use the economic calendar as a roadmap? Yes, sir. We already did. Beginning of the stream, we talked about it. What's your favorite type of music and who's your favorite artist? I like indie. I like rap, hip hop. My favorite artist is Dominic Fike. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he's definitely my favorite. Can you please tell me something about the unicorn? I have a full video coming out about unicorns in not a couple days. It'll probably be a week, but full unicorn video coming out. Man, I appreciate your time so much. Nearly 3 a.m. in the morning here in Australia, and I start work at 6. Yo, thank you so much for tuning in, man. I appreciate you taking time out to just tune in. When will you post the video? I'm hoping to get this video up today. It's on market structure shifts, order flow, all that. Yen futures react off the monthly for value area. Weekly, sorry. Yeah, right here. I'm seeing it. You want to see lower, but we have the daily gap right now. I would favor shorts because the monthly bearish order flow. I agree. All right, indices. Monthly bullish order flow. Haven't created this gap on the monthly yet. Weekly. Failing to head higher from that weekly gap. You have this discount order block here. We haven't tagged into yet. Tagged the wick, but you would have wanted to see price head higher from here if it wanted to do so. It's creating daily bearish fair value gaps lower. I think that S&P can definitely go lower towards the sell side because it's failing to offer this fair value and head higher. Should now seek opposing liquidity. I'm bearish on ES. Gonna be bearish on NASDAQ as well. NASDAQ has been even weaker. We have 10 days. Potentially we are setting up a monthly gap here to head higher off of, but who knows? Weekly. Same thing. We've been talking about it for the last 2 weeks or so. Or a week and a half. Once we fail to offer fair value here and head higher towards this liquidity, then we know that we're seeking this opposing liquidity because the fair value area failed. Daily internal to external potentially, but I don't know if we're going to want to retest that area. I don't think that NQ has the strength to do so right now. Probably just continued prices lower. Don't really care about Russell or YM. I might actually remove Russell and YM because I just don't care to trade them or look at them personally. But Interesting. Expect lower from this daily gap. YM monthly sweeping this previous month, not previous month, sorry, this monthly buy side liquidity. Weekly gap here that formed. SIBIs lower, bearish on indexes. Crude oil, crude oil, crude oil. Sweeping that previous month's high. Sloppy, sloppy. Weekly trading into this gap here. Overlapping order block. Want to gauge how we react from this area here, but right now, I think this one's lower. Could still dig deeper here. Monthly sweeping this buy side liquidity. Headed higher off of that internal to external. We were very bullish on gold all the way to that external here. We swept that buy side. Now I think we can potentially head lower and dig lower. Metals are kind of in a weird spot for me though. We haven't created, oh, we did create this small gap here, but I think this digs lower. But yeah, not that obvious. Copper looks weaker. Weekly. Gap lower. Getting created after this third candle, this third week. Daily SIBI. I like lower. Weekly failing to head higher here. I'm looking for this sell side to go next. Daily, internal to external here. Close to the draw though, we may not want to retest. This might just be a breakaway gap, but I think that goes lower. I'm bearish on metals. And yeah, here's the long list. Here is the short list. And here is the wait list. Again, I don't like the currencies right now. They don't feel clear and obvious to me. The only ones that do are euro and pound. So if I'm going to be trading anything in terms of Forex, it's likely going to be euro and pound crosses or euro and USD. But my main focus lately has been on indices and trading them intraday and going for payout on my prop funded accounts. And so that's where a lot of my focus has been. I'm still doing the analysis for you guys, but yeah, I just haven't been giving, I haven't had enough time, honestly. Like, I'm only one person. I have a lot that I'm working on right now, a lot of things that I'm overseeing. So it's like starting to be draining to do Forex all the time, but I'm also still doing it. I'm trying to make sure I do the analysis for you guys. But if something feels clear and obvious to me, it stands out, and I have time to trade it, I'll be trading Forex still. So it's kind of where I'm at. But I'm only one person, and I don't want to get burnt out. So shouldn't NQ be bullish weekly internal to external, since we still have bullish order flow and a weekly range discount? Just not the way that price is looking right now. We should have headed higher from this fair value area, this order block and fair value gap, if it was bullish. Monthly order flow is still bullish, I get that. But if anything, I think we might just head lower. And then if we wanted to potentially head higher, we might head higher off the monthly gap. But right now, the daily, 4 hour, everything is pointing bearish. Even the weekly is shifting potentially. The monthly order flow is the only thing. The macro perspective is still bullish. So we want to keep that in mind. But that's where I'm at right now. Strong close below this. You would have wanted to see higher prices from those weekly order block and fair value gaps. Which session do you trade the most? I trade New York. New York is what makes the most sense for me. It's when I'm up. It's when I'm on New York time. So I just trade New York. Definitely my favorite session. But yeah, hopefully video going up today or tomorrow. Be on the be on the lookout for that. That video is going to be on change in state of delivery, market structure shifts, sharp turns, all that stuff. Understanding order flow shifts and understanding, you know, how price confirms higher time frame PD arrays. Super good video. So I hope you guys tune into that. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. I'm not planning on staying on too long today. Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Hopefully it was insightful. Let's have a great week. I will see you throughout the week. I'll upload a video. I'll also do a live trading stream this week, so stay tuned for that. Appreciate you guys, and let's have a good week.